Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. If you ever struggled with memorizing trigonometric values, you are in the right place. Today, I'm going to show you an easy and fun way to remember sine, cosine, and tan values using just your left hand. So if you're ready to make trigonometry easier than ever, stick around and let's dive right in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more math hacks. Let's get started. We are finding the trigonometric values for sine, cosine, and tan using the left hand palm. So you see that the left hand palm is facing towards our face. So we use the left hand palm facing towards our face. And now we assign different values for these fingers starting from 0 degrees. So 0 degrees is assigned to the pinky finger and 30 degrees to the ring finger, 45 degrees to the middle finger, 60 degrees to the index finger, and then 90 degrees to the thumb finger. So we assign all these values to the different fingers like this. And now let's see how we calculate all the values for the trigonometric ratios. Say we are calculating sine 0. Let's see what is the value for sine 0. Sine 0 degrees equals what? So to calculate sine 0, we look at the finger that has got 0. So you can see that this finger has got 0. Now we see or we count how many fingers are below this finger. How many fingers are below this finger? So you see that there is no finger below this pinky. So when there is no finger, you just put 0. There's no finger below this. So you write 0 and then you put the square root for this number. And then we divide this by 2. So what is square root of 0 divided by 2? You know, square root of 0 is 0. 0 divided by 2, that's going to be 0. So sine 0 is 0. So the value of sine 0 is 0. And now let's see what is sine 30 degrees. So what is the value of sine 30 using this trick? Now to calculate sine 30, what we do is we again look at the finger that has got 30 degrees. So this finger has got 30 degrees. Now, how many fingers are below this finger? How many fingers are below 30? You see there is only one finger below 30. That's only the pinky finger. So there is only one finger below this 30. So you just write 1. And you always put the square root of this. And then you divide by 2. So what is square root of 1? That's going to be 1. So the answer is 1 over 2. So sine 30 is 1 over 2. Now let's see and calculate the other values. Let's calculate what is sine 60 and sine 45 and so on. Let's see what is sine 45. Let's calculate what is the value for sine 45 degrees. Again, to calculate sine 45, let's look at the finger that has got 45 degrees. So now you can see that this finger has got 45. Now, how many fingers below this? We just have to count. So below this finger, how many fingers are there? You see that there are 2 fingers below this, right? So which means you just write 2 and then you put the square root of this and then you divide by 2. So square root 2 divided by 2. So what is square root 2 divided by 2? When you simplify that, that's going to be 1 divided by square root 2. So sine 45 is 1 divided by square root 2. Now let's calculate what is the value for sine 60 using the same trick. So let's see what is the value for sine 60 here, sine 60 degrees. To calculate sine 60, now let's look at the finger that has got 60 degrees. Now you see that this finger has got 60 degrees. Now, how many fingers are below this 60? When I say below, to the right side. How many fingers are below 60? You see the 3 fingers. So you write 3 here and you always put the square root and divide by 2. So what is the answer? So sine 60 is square root 3 divided by 2. That's sine 60. Now let's calculate what is sine 90 degrees. So what is the value for sine 90? To calculate sine 90, same thing. We just have to look at the finger that has got 90 degree. So this finger has got 90 degree angle. Now we count how many fingers are below this finger. When I say below, to the right side. How many fingers are below 90? Yes, there are 4. You just write 4 here, and then you always put the square root here on the top, and then you divide by 2 every time. So square root of 4 is 2. You get 2 divided by 2. So which if you simplify, so that's going to be 1. So sine 90 is 1, and then sine 60 is square root 3 over 2. So this is the easiest way to calculate the trigonometric values using this left hand fingered trick. Now let's see how we calculate the cos values using the same trick. Let's see what is cos 0 and what is cos 30, 45 and so on using the same trick. So let's calculate what is cos 0. So let's see cos 0 degrees. So what is cos 0 degrees? What is the value of this? To find cos 0, again you need to look at the finger that has got 0 degrees. And now this time you count how many fingers are above this finger. So for sine, we have counted how many fingers are below. So for sine we use below, but now for cos we use above. The word is here above. So how many fingers are above this finger? When I say above, to the left side of this finger. So there are 4, right? So you just write 4 on the top, and then you put always the square root of this, and then you divide by 2. So what is square root of 4 divided by 2? Yes, square root of 4 is 2. 2 divided by 2, that's going to be 1. So cos 0 is 1. And now let's see what is the value for cos 30 degrees. Now to calculate cos 30, again now we need to look at the finger that has got 30 degrees. So this finger has got 30 degrees. Now you count how many fingers are above this. When I say above, you need to see the left side. How many fingers are to the left of this finger? 3, right? So you just write the 3, and you put this 3 under square root, and you always divide by 2. So what is the value of cos 30? Yes, it's square root 3 over 2. That's the value for cos 30. Now let's calculate the other values using the same trick. It's going to be pretty easy. You don't have to memorize all these values. We just have to use this trick to help us with. Now let's see what is cos 45. So let's calculate what is the value for cos 45. So to calculate cos 45, so look at the finger that has got 45 degrees. Now, how many fingers above these 2 fingers? When I say above, just look at the fingers to the left side. 2, right? Just write 2. And you always put square root of this and then divide by 2. So what is square root 2 divided by 2? That's going to be 1 divided by square root 2. So cos 45 is 1 divided by square root 2. Now let's calculate the other values quickly. Let's see what is cos 60 and then cos 90 using the same trick. So let's see what is cos 60 degrees. So to calculate cos 60, let's look at the finger that has got 60 degrees. So this finger has got 60. Now you have to count how many fingers are above this. Above, again above, when I say above, left of this. So there is only 1 finger. You just write 1 and put the square root and then divide by 2. So square root of 1, that's going to be 1. So 1 divided by 2, the answer is 1 over 2. That's cos 60. Now same thing, let's calculate what is cos 90 degrees using the same trick. So what is cos 90? To calculate this, we need to look at the finger that has got 90-degree angle. So you see that this finger has got 90 degree, and now let's count how many fingers are above this. When I say above, left of that, left side of that finger. There is no finger, right? So that's going to be 0. And you put this under square root and you divide by 2. So what is square root 0 divided by 2? That's going to be 0, so the cos 90 is 0. So this is the easiest trick to calculate these trig values. Now let's see how we calculate the next one, which is the tan values. So we have seen the sine and cos. Now let's calculate the tan. See, say now we are calculating tan 0. So what is the value for tan 0 degrees? To calculate this, again, look at the finger that has got 0 degrees. So this finger has got 0 degrees. Now, as you know that tan is sine divided by cos, right? Sine divided by cos. For sine, we have seen below. The word was below. For cos, it was above, right? For tan, as tan is sine divided by cos, sine we calculated below. How many fingers are below? Below, right? So again, we start from the below. Now, how many fingers are below this finger? When I say below, to the right side, there's no finger, right? So you just write 0, and then you put the square root of this, divide by. Now, how many fingers are above this finger? So the tan gonna be below and above, below over above. So how many fingers are above this finger? When I say above, left side. So you see 4 fingers, right? So you write 4, and you put the square root for this as well. So square root of 0 divided by square root of 4. So when you simplify this, what's the answer? Square root of 0 is 0. 0 divided by 2, that's going to be 0. So the answer is 0. So tan 0 is 0. Now let's see what is the value for tan 30 degrees. So to calculate tan 30, again you need to look at the finger that has got 30 degrees. So you can see that this finger has got 30 degrees. So what is the formula for tan? Below over above. Sine over cos. Sine is below, tan is sine over cos, so below over above. Now how many fingers are below this? Just one finger. So put this under square root. Divide by how many fingers are above this? When I say above, left side. 3 fingers, right? So you just write 3 and put this under square root. So square root 1 is 1, and then you get 1 divided by square root 3. So the answer for tan 30 is 1 divided by square root 3. That's pretty easy. So tan is below over above. How many fingers are below over how many fingers are above, and then put the square root for both. Now let's calculate the other values for tan. Let's see what is tan 45. Now to calculate that, let's see. So we are calculating what is the value for tan 45 degrees. So to calculate tan 45, again look at the finger that has got 45 degrees. Now, how many fingers are below this finger? Below is always right. So 2 fingers. 2 fingers are below that. You put the square root. Again, how many fingers are above this finger? So below over above. How many are above this? Yes, 2. So you put this also under square root. So square root 2 over square root 2, that's going to be 1. So tan 45, the answer is 1. Now let's see what is the value for tan 60. So let's calculate that. So tan 60 degrees. Let's see what is the value for this. To calculate tan 60, again, you need to look at the finger that has got 60 degrees. Now this finger has got 60 degrees. Again, for tan 60, look at the finger that has got 60 degrees. Again, you need to count how many fingers are below this, right of this, right side of this. 3 fingers, right? You just write 3 and put this under square root. Divide by how many fingers are above this. When I say above, left of that. So just there is 1. Put this under square root. So square root 3 over square root 1, which is square root 3. So the answer is tan 60 is square root 3. And now let's see what is the value for tan 90 degrees. So to calculate tan 90, we need to look at the finger that has got 90-degree angle. So this finger has got 90-degree angle. Now, to calculate the value, below over above. How many fingers are below this? When I say below, right side. How many fingers? Yes, 4 fingers are below that. So you put this under square root. And now, How many fingers are above this? When I say above, left of this. There's no finger, right? So you put 0 and then you put the square root for this as well. So square root of 4 is 2. 2 divided by 0, that's going to be what? So what is 2 divided by 0? Is that 2? Is that 0? No, right? What is the answer? Division by 0, you all know that's undefined. So division by 0 is undefined. So tan 90, what is the answer? It's going to be undefined. Alright? So to calculate sine, we always look at the fingers below, which is right side, and then divide by 2. For cos, we look at the fingers above. Above is left side, and then we divide by 2. For tan, you look at the fingers below and look at the fingers above, then take square root of both, below over above. Alright? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out more amazing math videos.